into that tough spot on the schedule against the Nuggets, the Spurs, the Cavs, the Rockets. That was just a 1-point loss to the Rockets on Sunday. Steph's return gives them hope in the win department, as does a game against the Kings. But as we say all the time on this show, do not play with your food. How should the Warriors approach this game, Mullin?
Yeah, they've had enough games like this, Kareth, and they've squandered a bunch early in the season. Doing a much better job overall taking care of the basketball. Last game they did a good job. I think just 12 turnovers. So that's the key. This Kings team is struggling. Although, I've got to state, they're 2-0 in April. And the Warriors are 0-2 in April, so
give them credit. Sure.
Don't fall for the April Fool's joke.
All right.
But all things are different when Steph Curry's on the floor. So they should get good looks at the basket. This Kings team struggles shooting a three-point shot, which in this day and age, you cannot win basketball games if you struggle from the three-point line.
I mean, the Kings are 26th offensive rating in the NBA out of 30, and they're 27th defensively. So this is not a game where the team that you have to do a good job of starting off with some force. You can't give them extra possessions. You know the Warriors have struggled. When they lost to teams like this in the past, it's been because of turnovers, second chance points, because these are young teams. They're athletic. They're trying to develop their young guys. And they're trying to find some kind of scene. I mean, talking to some of the guys with the Sacramento Kings, the whole mentality was, we just got 5 games left. Like, we're trying to just buy our time out. You don't want to give them something to be celebrating at this point in the season. For the Warriors, you got to build something, build some momentum, get some wins, but get it in the way that you're proud of and you can build up moving forward.
Yeah, nice to see Steph there joking with Russ. He's out tonight. The Kings have 9 players out tonight, so they're facing a very depleted squad as the Warriors start to get their health back. Hey, on Sunday, we saw Steph come back. He was on a minutes restriction, played about the last 6 minutes of each quarter. But guys, you can see how he improved throughout the game, right? Got his legs under him, looked much better in the second half of that game. 29 points in 26 minutes off the bench. Why don't we hear from Steph and Steve Kerr after his re-debut, after his return? How about that, his return?
First run was tough. Second run was great. Second quarter, once I got my feet underneath me. And obviously the momentum carried all the work you put in rehab to get through even 26 minutes at that level. I was very grateful for sure.
We're back in the mix, We're back in the fight with Steph. And, that's a hell of a team. They've been really hot lately and fully healthy. And, we took them down to the last shot, obviously. So felt good about the effort, the process. 10 turnovers, 34 assists. We played really well offensively. Just couldn't get that stop there at the end, but the guys were fantastic.
I appreciate the fans and the reception and just the buzz that was in the arena because, that's what at a certain point you won't be able to tap into that. So I'm very grateful. It was a beautiful day, and now I can kind of settle into how we're going to finish, the year.
Big time buzz in the arena. Why don't we head there next? We'll take you courtside, courtesy of Comcast Business. Every connection counts. That's where we find Zena Keita. I'll borrow Bonte's words, the pride of Yale. And how about, who's that in the leather? Who's that?
Two-time Monty!
Our Warriors insider, Monty Poole. Listen, as we start to look ahead to the postseason, Steph just changes the equation. He changes the vibes. And Zena, he most certainly changes the gravity on the floor.
1,000%. Did you hear, Stephen? It's a beautiful day. It was a beautiful day for all of us watching it, especially Warriors fans, but the entire NBA was in a better place because Stephen Curry was out on the floor. And when you watch him being out on the floor, it gives them a puncher's chance, puts them in the mix, as Coach Kerr said, but it particularly gives them a different look, Monty.
Yeah, the Warriors, Steve Kerr likes to go to his small lineups and fans come and grumble about that. Why is he going so small? They're so tiny. And they are small. The other night, the Houston Rockets had 3 guys on the court that were 6'11" down the stretch. Kevin Durant, 6'11", okay? Alperen Sengun, 6'11". Jabari Smith Jr., 6'11". The tallest Warrior on the court was Draymond, 6'6". Other guys, Steph, 6'3", Melton, 6'3", Pod, 6'3", Gary, 6'2".
Yeah.
And they outscored that team down the stretch. And obviously the big reason why is because when the small lineup has Steph Curry out there, it's a dangerous lineup. It's a dangerous lineup. And plus you have the Steph Draymond synchronicity. So going small doesn't always work. But when you have Steph on the court, chances of working it or having it work are pretty dang good.
There's a conversation I have later in the show with Seth Curry, and he alludes to the fact that because the play-in is almost locked in, it looks a little different looking at wins and losses this season as they close out the regular season. What does it mean now for Stephen to come back? Because a lot of folks have thought that he shouldn't come back. But what does it do for the Warriors season?
Well, when Steph walks into the locker room, the temperature goes up. It gets warmer. The front office gets better, gets smarter. The NBA gets richer.
Yes.
All these things are part of the equation. But for Steph, you got to understand, I understand people wanted him not to play because they're scared he might get hurt. Steph does not look at it that way at all. You got to understand how he thinks. Most of his life, people have been telling him what he couldn't do. And so he thrives on being told what he shouldn't do, couldn't do, can't do, won't do. And so people said, oh, he might get hurt. He might just shut it down. No, it's not in his DNA to shut anything down. It's who he is, that when he's healthy, he wants to play. He should play. Let him go.
Whew. 27 games missed, comes back on the court, Kareth. 29 and 26? What? What are we talking about? I mean, these are ridiculous numbers that Stephen is putting up as he's putting up more ridiculous shots right behind us. The opponent tonight should be a little bit easier to face up against, but I don't doubt that we're still going to see a show.
I think you're absolutely right, Zena, and thank you to you both, because you can see more butts in the seat watching just his pregame warm-up. And listen, when it comes to Steph being clutch, he was #1, by the way, until last night. Jamal Murray hit a clutch 3 to pass him, but consider Steph missed all of February, all of March, and he is still the go-to guy for a game winner. And I feel like we need to have that conversation about Steph's gravity, because as they were talking about, it was a 4-guard lineup on the court to close the game. A lot of things shouldn't work if Steph's not on the floor, but his gravity commands so much attention, he can just change things. The Warriors were down 14 in the fourth quarter. What do you see on this tape?
This is the most feared man in the NBA. And I'll show you this on the tape right now. Steph Curry, because of his gravity, a lot of guys make the craziest defensive decisions. Like, look at this. Look at the defenders chase Steph and leave his man wide open. KD was guarding DeAnthony Melton, and he just leaves DeAnthony Melton like, yo, I just don't want Steph to be open, and DeAnthony Melton gets a wide open shot on the other side.
And when Steph's on the ball, the defense doubles him and actually puts the ball in a better position. They're chasing downhill. They're leaving guys wide open at the basket because they have to double him. Here, GP2 is the recipient of a wide open layup because of the threat of him coming off a screen and knocking down a 3.
And then, I mean, this is the end of the game. This is why they're afraid of Steph, all right? He has missed 27 games. He's coming back. When it's clutch time, you know what's going to happen. You know who the ball is going to find. He's going to hit that big dagger down the stretch. Steph relishes in these moments. This is why people are afraid of him. This is why defensives change because of Steph. I've never seen the geometry change like it does for Stephen Curry, because guys, 2 guys, 3 guys at times go with Steph Curry. You have guys wide open at the rim. I played with Steph. I had so many dunks because of Steph Curry, and you can see all the guys on the floor. But what I was encouraged by the game last night, or the last game, was guys were responding in the second half. It just felt like the ball was moving. Guys knew exactly where to be, and Steph was coming back to a much more confident team. Draymond had 12 assists last game. These are the things that you build off of, the confidence that you feel like if you go with this team into the postseason, you could cause some damage.
You always hear Steve Kerr talk about space and pace. That's all created by Steph Curry. The spacing because of his range on the three-point shooting, which drags the defense out way beyond the three-point line. And the pace, because he moves off the basketball so much. Anytime he comes off a screen, they double him, the slip is wide open. And you look at those clips, the middle of the paint is wide open. When Steph Curry's not playing, the defense is always between the ball and the basket. And they're always basically in a zone. And the Warriors were getting wide open shots without Steph. These are much more rhythm shots. They're in the flow. And they're chasing the basketball. They're always behind the ball because they double Steph. Steph throws ahead, and now they're just chasing. If they don't get the layup, they kick back out, and they're in full rotations. It changes everything about the offensive strategy.
Man, just welcome back to a generational game changer. Few guys excited to have Steph back as much as Draymond Green. And Steve Kerr says Draymond Green is deserving of first-team All-NBA honors this season. We will discuss the evidence when we come back.